back at it here. Wednesday, hump day coming on. 844-844-3388. All right, we're right there where we left off. Maybe President Biden doesn't recall that his military advisors told him he should leave 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, or maybe he's lying about it. But in either case, according to White House Representative Jody Hice, he should resign, following the testimony from the Pentagon leaders contradicting what the president claims. The Georgia Republican says one of only two options are here. Either the president's mental capacity has gotten to such a point that indeed he's not able of recalling the information given him, the advice given him from his military generals, or he's lying. Either way, it's bad news for America, and I believe it ultimately points to the need for this president to step down, resign. He's not capable to be the commander-in-chief. Okay, that's where they go into the testimony, which I just shared with you, what McKenzie said, what Milley said. So again, either the president's lying to the American people or he's incapable of making the type of decisions in the best interest of the United States. Hice went on to say, either way, we've got a serious problem here. We have the most disastrous foreign policy decision, perhaps in our nation's history. And yet the Democrats impeached President Trump twice for a 5-minute conversation. Biden's decisions, though, meant 6 weeks of absolute disaster with the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and that has massively hindered our credibility around the world. Now, beyond Afghanistan, Hice also wants to know what role Nancy Pelosi has in Milley's actions amid reports that he spoke with her about Trump's state of mind in his final days in the White House. What business does she have trying to sway public opinion and to interject her feelings toward President Trump to the extent of trying to have the military leaders go against the commander-in-chief? That's a major problem in itself, again, something we need answers to. We don't just need these hearings. These hearings, they come and go. We need investigations where we get solid answers. That was another part of the discussion. All right, about 5 before the hour, and back to the calls. Let's see, is this Jim, I believe it is? Morning, Jim.
Yep, this is Jim, calling from Buffalo, New York. Former truck driver, maybe truck driver again. I'm actually an RN who refused to take the COVID shot. And so I am technically unemployed. They haven't really decided what they want to do because they really don't want to lose me. But I just thought I'd like to say hi to y'all. Maybe I'll be out there driving again soon.
So, yeah, you said you're a nurse. What your decision to not take the shot? What is your concern about the long-term potential consequences of not knowing what?
Well, I have autoimmune diseases. I have a couple, not serious ones, and I don't want to add to the collection, including serious ones. MS is coming up with a lot of people that don't have anything like that, but that was the primary thing. There's another vaccine coming out, hopefully soon. They've been delaying it forever. It's around the rest of other parts of the world, but it's called Novavax. And that's really more a traditional vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be out hopefully soon. That's one I would be willing to take, but I'm not taking the RNA or the viral vector vaccines. They're just not. They could trigger autoimmunity. I've known this for a year since I was looking at when they were initially presenting them. And believe it or not, right now I am taking a test. I'm showing up negative. I was been around vaccinated people all this weekend. I worked 30 hours or so, probably as a supervisor in a skilled nursing facility. And a significant portion of my vaccinated residents have COVID. So I may have gotten it, me, Mr. Unvaxxed, from from vaccinated people.
Mm.
Isn't that the darndest? But yeah, so I'm feeling something's coming on. I'm not quite sure what it was, but I was around some rather sick people this weekend. But
Wow.
I've got my ivermectin here. I'm all cool.
Yeah, so how about that? All right. So, how were you able to get your hands on
my CDL?
How were you able to get your hands on the ivermectin? There's so many doctors who refuse to prescribe it. I mean, we actually had the CDC or the FDA coming out saying, doctors, you have to stop prescribing this.
Well, you go to the FLCCC, Frontline Critical Care, COVID Critical Care Alliance, and that group has a link how to get ivermectin. It includes fluvoxamine and a few other things, but anyone out on the road there, you can have this sent from one of these doctors if they reside or have a license in your state. I'm here in New York. I went with a Texas doctor, Dr. Syed Hadir, and he sent it to a pharmacy in Erie, Pennsylvania that I work with. So, and in fact, I may have saved the life of a friend of mine last week who called me from the ER. That's when he decided to call me when he was violently ill with it, and they wanted to admit him to the hospital. I didn't tell him not to stay. He said he didn't feel any comfort about it. He didn't want the remdesivir or anything like that. So I said, well, I've got ivermectin here. You tell me what you decide to do. And with the first dose, his 104-degree temperature, the first dose stopped. So they can tell you all they want that it doesn't work. That's nonsense. All the drivers out there, if you're looking for something in the meantime, quercetin is something you can take that's similar to ivermectin. It's over the counter. It's a supplement called quercetin or quercetin, however they want to pronounce it. I take that all the time. So that's something you can take in the interim. But FLCCC, Frontline Critical Care, COVID Critical Care, is the place to go online and just connect with one of the doctors there. A lot of the doctors are you cannot have this sent to a Rite Aid or a Walgreens or anything like that. They're refusing. You need to go to a compounder. And that's